It's a Saturday afternoon and I'm in thought today. Like that's nothing new, but today is a little bit different. But I want to share it with you because I think as we share with each other, it really helps us to realize that we're not by ourselves. We get insight and we get strategies on how we should move with our own lives. So welcome to episode 3. Let's kick this episode off with a story. So I had a friend invite me out to lunch, and I had assumed that I was meeting them there because they live quite far. And they messaged me back and said, hey, I was thinking that you were going to meet me here and we would ride over together. And I politely corrected them and asked, well, why would you think that? You live 40 minutes away. And while I have been to their house and I've taken the drive and hadn't had a problem with the drive in the past, that particular day, I didn't want to. I didn't want to drive that far out. And so I said no, with the hopes that they would be willing to compromise and either one, meet me there or perhaps meet me someplace else where we both were equally coming at pretty much the same amount of distance. And it didn't work out that way. And so it ended with us not meeting for lunch. I'm sharing this today because oftentimes we compromise what we want to do to accommodate other people. And while that's okay sometimes, you know when it's not okay. You know when you have made up in your mind, I just don't want to go that far out. I don't want to be there. I don't want to do this. I don't want to say that. And we have to be okay and comfortable with other people being uncomfortable with our decision. We have no problem with allowing ourselves to be in uncomfortable situations for the sake of other people. But we have got to understand that we are going to make other people uncomfortable with our decisions. And it may mean that they may back out. Let them back out. Because the same way that you had a decision to make, they had a decision to make. Their decision was that they didn't want to compromise. And it's okay. But a part of our self-improvement is to know that sometimes our decisions won't align with what other people want us to do. And then we're angry at the world because we have this long history of quote unquote caving in. We have this long history of doing what we really didn't want to do for the sake of pleasing others, or I didn't want to make them mad, or I don't want to hurt their feelings. Because at the end of the day, we are not responsible or any more responsible for other people's feelings as they are for our own feelings. And I think that's exactly what we do. I think that is exactly what we do. We treat people the way we want people to treat us. And oftentimes, that looks like pacifying. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts for me to even hear. Because I've been there. I've been there where I wanted people to pacify me because I didn't really want to deal with the pain of rejection or deal with the pain of hearing no. And so we tend to treat people that way. We pacify them. But then we're angry because that pacifying is not reciprocated. Cut ties not necessarily with people. I feel this thing. Cut ties with expectations of people or from people of you. The only expectation and standard that you should be reaching for is the one that you have of yourself as it relates to our own personal journey. Because here is the reality. Everybody is doing them. Everybody has goals to reach that are going to benefit them. Everybody is trying to make things happen that is going to benefit them. We have got to learn that it is okay to do things that are going to benefit us, and it may not benefit the next person by me. It's okay. Because again, they're doing stuff every day to benefit them. And I believe this is one of the ways that we protect our joy. Or as some of us may call it, energy. Because to me, energy, the positive energy anyways, it's just joy. That's the way we're going to protect our joy, our God-given peace of mind, is being careful not to overpour or pour in places that we don't want to pour. We pour out, and then we forget to pour back in. And there's nothing wrong with compromise. But you got to know when to compromise. That's a skill that good parenting, that can be seen in good parenting. A parent that knows how to say yes, and they also know how to say no. That's a balanced parenting, because what happens when a parent says yes all the time, or if they say no all the time? You're going to get an extreme behavior, either one direction or the other. It's not good for raising a whole balanced child. So if we want whole balanced relationships, we got to be honest with people. We gotta shake ourselves out of fear of hurting people's feelings and be honest, so that we can have a healthy, honest, transparent relationship. Because a lot of our relationships are not honest. Some of our relationships, we're tiptoeing because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. That's not real healthy. That's not a healthy relationship. We want to surround ourselves with healthy relationships. We want to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. And a part of that is sometimes saying no. And then we have to be okay with their response. Let me say it again. And then we have to be okay with their response, which is one of the things I still have to work on myself. Lisa, you got to be okay with their response, even if it's not the response that you wanted. Because remember, you just gave them a response that they didn't want. But we have to remember to respect our own response and be respectful of their response as well. And so this is definitely easier said than done. But I believe it's necessary. It's necessary for us to try. Has definitely been something I've been trying. I've been doing. Not always 100% successful, but it is my goal to just be authentic in this manner. And I hope, I really hope today's episode just kind of inspire you and really gave you the strength to perhaps speak up for yourself more. Being okay with saying no. You know, it's tough to hear, but you really find out how people feel about you when you say no. It can be a scary thing to even consider, like, oh wow, I'm really gonna see if this person is really down for me or not, or whatever the case is. But you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself, and you know what? You kind of owe it to them too. You owe it to your friendships. We owe it to our relationships. We owe it because it's really, I believe it's not going to just help us to improve as people, but it'll help improve the relationships that we engage in. For sure. So, hey, little disclaimer here. I went back and forth with this episode. I was not sure if I was going to release this episode Again, that bit of perfectionist thing, overthinking things. So I want to ask you a favor. If you were able to grasp onto anything in this episode, hey, make sure you send me a message at contact Lisa McClendon at Gmail, or if there's a comment section below attached to this particular episode, you can drop a comment then. Look, a part of self-improvement is asking for help. And I just need your help in knowing that you are being blessed, or you're being helped, you're being encouraged and inspired by these podcasts, these episodes. So listen, I'm here to ask you, let me know, am I on the right track with connecting with you in particular? I would love to hear that. And so I can't wait to chat with you next time. Look, take care of yourself. This podcast is designed to help us to support in self-awareness, self-care, and again, most importantly, self-improvement. We deserve it. We deserve it. And again, I look forward to seeing you next time. I am Lisa McClendon. This is Don't Blame Mondaze, a Better Me podcast. I'll see you soon, and you're welcome.